Yo, what's going on, y'all? Hashtag Nation, how you doing? You guys surprised to see me by myself here? Didn't think I can do this stuff by myself because Paul's the only man that can go live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As we previewed last week on the post game, we are going to start doing the hashtag Hangover, which is going to be basically a little bit of Saturday. It's supposed to be Saturday morning, but I had to push it back just a little bit. Buffalo Mafia news in here, Jordan Sidikowski and Apex all coming in right now. Guys, basically what we're going to do is we're going to be covering a little bit of the preview of the Buffalo Bills versus the Houston Texans coming up tomorrow, as well as talk about some news going on around the NFL and the upcoming matchups for the Buffalo Bills as well. Mike Trotter, let's go. No doubt, my friend, no doubt. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But before we get into any of the formalities, we would like to thank the sponsor of today's show, Mr. Rogers Homes. Sean Rogers, the top 1% realtor in all of Arizona. So if you're thinking of relocating out to the Valley of the Sun, in the description of this video, you will see his brochure. So make sure you go check him out, as well as our other sponsors, cbdx.com. If you use promo code HTS, you'll get 20% off. CBDX mixes gummies, amazing flour, and tremendous cartridges. So make sure you go check them out as well at cbdx.com. 20% off if you use the promo code HTS. As well as, obviously, you guys know the formalities. You can find us over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as on iTunes and Spotify. So we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be previewing the Buffalo Bills versus the Houston Texans, which is right now, a 17-point favorite, the Buffalo Bills currently, as I look at it on my phone. So it's going to be, I don't want to say that the Buffalo Bills are overlooking the Houston Texans, but when you got Kansas City and Tennessee on the horizon, which are away games that you got to have right before the bye, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens in this game. Obviously, the huge storylines for the Buffalo Bills, both Jordan Poyer and John Feliciano reported out for this game. As far as the information that I've been given, you guys know we always try to do our due diligence over here at Hashtag Sports. So that is going to be very interesting to see in the role that's going to be happening. Who do we got in there? You got DeMar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson as well to be rotating back there with Micah Hyde. Very few. I mean, that's what I got, Vernon. That's what I got, is that Feliciano is going to be out with a concussion. But very few games over these past years that Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde have been a part of the Buffalo Bills that they haven't played without one another. Now, some of y'all are going to say it, so I'll say it before you. Dean Marlowe was usually the guy that was plugged in there as far as the guy, if Poyer or Hyde were to go down, Dean Marlowe was like the first guy up, but obviously he's not available. Also on the injury report, we got F.A. Obata, Antonio Williams, and Isaiah Hodges are all questionable, as well as Duke Williams. For the Houston Texans, though, injury reports, and I'll get to the chat in 1 second, guys. I don't think there will be a rotation at safety. I think Jaquan Johnson will get the snap. Spin coming in. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think that's a realistic possibility for him. I think they might want to get some more work for Hamlin, being the rookie coming in, because this is the Bills' way. This is what they do. This is because you're not going to have Hyde and Poyer forever, so you got to start cycling those young guys in, trying to get younger at the position and do what they need to do. Taron Johnson also questionable, not practice on Friday. Thank you, Apex, for coming in with that. Jaquan knows the system. That's why he'll be in. I like it. I like it a lot. I like to see these young guys get some burn and get some just see what they're made of and see how the Buffalo Bills drafting has gone. So Vernon goes, Butker. Is Butker replacing Mongo? Probably. I mean, he seems like he would be the next guy up in there, having started a majority of the snaps from last year. It seems like Mongo would be that guy. Or Butker would be that guy. You also have Ryan Bates, who's more of a center. Spencer Brown, who's been killing it when he's been coming in at left tackle, is a beast. That guy's a monster. I don't even know what to do with that guy, but homework to do. I figured I would throw you like, go Bills. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Homework to do. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that, buddy. Buffalo Mafia News coming in saying Jaquan is a ball hawk. He'll be getting a pick against a young one in Mills. Yeah, Mills, a lot being made about Mills' neck, man. The guy looks like a giraffe. Like, I don't know what to do with that guy. But once again, we have in back-to-back weeks a former Bills quarterback that should have been coming in as we started the season. People were looking ahead at the schedule, and they're like, oh, Washington, you got Fitz, you got Houston, oh, you got Tyrod, both coming into Buffalo, but neither one of them is going to be playing as Tyrod is out as well. So what other questions do we have or comments do we have in the chat? Spin coming in 0481. They need to see what they have in Jaquan. This is the first real opportunity. Poyer hasn't missed a game since he signed with them. He hasn't missed one, really? Is it Hyde that was hurt? Yeah, it was Hyde that was hurt versus the Texans, I think, a couple of years ago, and Marlowe came in and had an excellent game. I'm going to bring up Dean Marlowe, guys. You guys know I'm going to do that. Mafia Mom coming in said, my heart breaks for Tyrod. A guy can't catch a break. Now, I've been hearing his name called Tyrod. Is it back to Tyrod again? Like, did we all end up fixing that? Like, was that one of the things we ended up correcting? I wasn't sure what was going on. But yeah, the guy, he really can't catch a break. I mean, he goes to Buffalo, they draft, Allen. He goes to Cleveland, they bring in Baker, obviously, and then he ends up having that whole chaotic mess out in LA with Herbert, and then now he's the guy really cannot catch a break. It's so tough. All right, what else we got over here? Oh, you guys are already throwing in score predictions for this game? I'll take that. Absolutely. Let's go. This is the hashtag Hangover that we're going to be doing. We're going to be starting these up on Saturdays. And for any kind of fun you guys want to have, and we want to discuss last minute things before the games, I'm going to try to keep this to. We're going to talk a little bit about the Bills preview. We're going to be talking a little bit about the upcoming opponents for the Buffalo Bills and any other kind of NFL news you guys want. You guys are fantasy football goers. I will have you some information on that as well. So, Vernon says Poyer will be coaching from the sidelines. That sounds good. I mean, Poyer, I think it was an ankle injury he had. Let me look at my. Yeah, it was his ankle. So, which is not ideal if you're a safety, but I don't know if you guys watched the mic'd up of Poyer against Washington, but that dude was flying all over the place. That guy is an absolute manimal. Brett coming in. Oh, I like this one. Anyone have thoughts on the likelihood that we'll resign Taron Johnson? I think he's warranted a new contract. I don't know how much that's going to be. Obviously, you got some horses that have to be paid. Let me just look at this here. Over the cap. As you guys know, at hashtag sports, we like using overthecap.com for a lot of things, talking about contracts and whatnot. Obviously, use Spot Track as well. That's another good one. But Over the Cap is always a good one that I love using. So if we were to look at the free agents, just really quick, free agency for the Buffalo Bills next year. I'm clicking. So what? You got Hughes, Addison, Sanders, Butler, Trubisky, Butker, Tywan Jones, Levi Wallace, Obata, McKenzie, Breida, Taron Johnson, Siran Neal. She got a lot of these young guys, and we have to figure out what kind of contract these guys are going to want and what they're going to garner for next year. Obviously, on the horizon, you're going to have to sign Tremaine Edmonds if that's the path that you want to go. But that'd be an interesting debate. Who gets signed first, Wallace or Johnson? That's an interesting topic. That's an interesting one. But you see when you read those names out, you see the Buffalo Bills have been able to cycle certain positions. They've been able to get younger at certain positions there. So that's good in that respect. So here's a hot take coming in from Jim Bitway. Trubisky throws a touchdown in garbage time. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. It's nice to see. I mean, even in a backup role, it seems like his career has been a little bit resurrected in what he's been able to do. Obviously, going into purgatory in Chicago, not having a lot of success, yet the guy brought Nagy to the playoffs. I mean, should we give him a jacket for Canton already? I mean, geez, that's a mess over there in Chicago, man. I don't know what's going on over there. Paulie D coming in. I love this. Our defense has been excellent. If we get the running game going, it's going to get very interesting. And also interesting that you bring that up. Currently, the Buffalo Bills for the NFL through 3 games, third in yards, overall yards, fourth in passing yards, 178, rushing yards, 74.7, which they are ranked 7th. Points, they are 4th. But I think that the most telling one is that they're 7th in third down conversions. I think that's a huge thing because you got to get off the field. You got to get some possessions for your your offense as well as Josh Allen in the offense, because we knew coming into this season teams were going to try to shorten the games on the Buffalo Bills to try to get the ball out of 17's hands. And in doing so, luckily, the Buffalo Bills have been able to generate some turnovers, get extra possessions, as we've seen from Miami and Washington. However, that is not really a constant. I don't think you can really bank on always getting 2 to 3 turnovers a game. It'd be nice, but I don't know if that's something you could bank on. So that's something to look forward to that we have for the Buffalo Bills. Oh, but Buffalo Mafia news. You're nuts. You're absolutely crazy. I can't with you right now. I really can't. This. He goes Bills 50-5. Cody Ford allows a safety. Why? Why you gotta pick on Ford, man? Why you gotta do that? Why? Oh my God, that's good. So Jordan's coming in with his prediction 42-13 Buffalo Bills. I see a lot of 40s. A lot of 40s coming up for the Buffalo Bills. Pierre coming in. Spain did a good job the other night. Wonder if there's any regret with him. It's interesting too that the two MVPs for Washington, like two of the most the guys that stood out to me when Buffalo played Washington was Logan Thomas and Dustin Hopkins. So two former Bills. I think with the direction that the Buffalo Bills will be able to go in, obviously Spain, and another guy that gets brought up a lot of times is Wyatt Teller. What if the Buffalo Bills had Spain and Teller right now? I don't know. I don't know what would have happened in that respect. Spain did play pretty well the other day, but I'm not sure I don't know if it's in the overall scope of the team vision and their blueprint. So maybe Spain wasn't part of the blueprint. Obviously, Teller, you were able to flip him for the resources you needed to get Stephon Diggs here. Now, I think if you ask any Buffalo Bill fan, they're going to say, I want Diggs here instead of Teller. But you look at those are all three very vastly different offenses that you start talking about now. I mean, when you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield, those are two different animals. And obviously Wyatt Teller being a very strong run blocker, that's something that he's tailored towards Cleveland's offense. Buffalo Bills, not so much. The EP system really isn't like that. So let's see what else we got here. Matthew Harmon says that Teron gets signed before Wallace, in my opinion. That is going to be an interesting take. I'm interested to see how that goes. And we'll be monitoring that here at Hashtag Sports as well. Hey, guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, could you go do that? Because that would be awesome, because it's hashtag. This is how Paul and I feed our families, and we got to get new Wi-Fi for Paul. So you guys got to let me know what's going on there. So let's go over some more. Pierre Martin is coming in hot. Diggs with 150 yards. I love it. Good one. I like this. Chuck Christopher, Zach Moss, a big day. He has seemed to have been showing out lately. So I don't know. That's the weird thing, because we just said, Stephon Diggs will get 150 yards, but then you look at Zach Moss having a big day. I'm just wondering this. I mean, type of 1 in the chat if you think the Bills are going to go pass heavy, or type of 2 in the chat if you think they're going to go run heavy. I'm very interested to hear your take, Nation, on what's going to happen. So in thinking of that, if you think they're going to run the ball quite a bit, that might be something where Diggs may not have 150. I mean, he might do his 8 for 90 yards or something like that and have a touchdown, but that's very interesting. We got a bunch of 1s in the chat. Let me see. Pierre Martinez thinks it's going to be a passing game. Apex 1, Mafia Mom 1, Matthew Harmon 1. Thank you guys for commenting. That's awesome. What's up, y'all? What's up, Elliot? How you doing, my brother? Jordan also thinks it's going to be a 1. Vernon thinks it's going to be more balanced, though. Vernon thinks it's going to be more of a 50-50 shot. Let me look at some more comments here. I'll get you guys on here because we love when the nation comes in. Oh, we got a question from very far out. Where's this one? Buffalo Mafia. What positions do we draft in the first 3 rounds? Well, since the Buffalo Bills are going to be drafting with the last pick in all of those rounds because they're winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know. Bean has been known to be a mover and a shaker a lot of times with some of his picks. So if it's not the best player at that position, or they're going to lose the player that they want the most and what they're going to try to cycle out for some certain positions, I'm not sure. But I do know this from their past history and what the pattern has been so far. They're going to get probably the best athlete at the position that they're going to draft that's left on the board. Like you looked at Rousseau this year, when they drafted Rousseau, he was probably the best athlete at the position at that time. And then when they drafted Basham, he was probably the best athlete at the position. And knowing that you're going to be losing Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes next year, that makes sense. Those picks made sense in the aftermath of it. So I don't think that in the moment you'd be like, oh, they picked this guy or they picked this guy. But in the aftermath of it, seeing what's on the horizon for some of the Bills, players and contracts that may be coming up, you'll see that it'll make sense eventually. Best player available. Yep, absolutely. Pick best player available. Pierre goes guard, interior defensive lineman, and corner. I wouldn't be shocked if it took a corner at 32. 32. 30-second pick. 30 seconds. Say it. Whisper it into existence, nation. Come on, we need to do this. Oh, I like this one. Old school. John coming in. Pass to win in the first half, running out in the second half. Yeah, we know the EP system is varied in a bunch of ways where it's tailored its offense toward what your opponent is. So there could be games where Allen throws 40 times a game, or there could be times that you run the ball 40 times a game. So it's going to be interesting to see what the offensive coaching staff and what the offensive mindset going into Houston or playing Houston is, and how that's going to manifest in itself throughout the game, how it's going to be adjusted. So if the Buffalo Bills think that they have more of an advantage on running the ball instead of passing the ball to try to gain yardage, try to control the clock and whatnot, we're going to see that very early. I mean, you'll definitely see that in the script. That'll definitely be in the script. And as I, referring to the script, first 15 plays that the Buffalo Bills run. So hashtag, what's up, bro? What up, Buffalo Hub? How are you doing, my friend? How's it going? How are you doing on this wonderful Saturday hangover, the hashtag hangover, which is going to be coming to you every Saturday from now until the end of the season. So make sure that you guys are setting your clocks to that. Paul will do the morning coffee on Thursdays. We have our Friday night tailgate talk with Mike and Tommy. Make sure you guys check that out. It's also on our channel. And also, I'm going to start doing the hashtag hangover. Tomorrow after the game, what we're going to be doing is obviously we're going to have our post game. But prior to that, Joe is going to be calling the game. So make sure that you guys set that. You don't want to listen to the pro guys. They don't do it. Joe does a tremendous job here. So make sure you go check him out. Looking at the Buffalo Bills schedule, we have a very special present for you guys. I know I'm missing a bunch of comments. Let me go back up. They're going to get more on the edge. If Knox keeps up his play, Ertz becomes available at the end of the year. Do you still go for him? Mafia Mount. Ooh, interesting. I think Ertz became a memory due to the fact of what Knox been able to do so far. I mean, this is why Buffalo drafted Dawson Knox. This is the potential that he has. And, drops aside, I know he had a little bit of trouble with that, but all of that aside, you start looking at the genetic makeup of this kid. He's a hell of an athlete. He's a hell of a player. Obviously one of Allen's favorites. So that camaraderie that he has, if he ends up opening up and has a breakout year and is a weapon, NFL teams around the league are going to be like, what do we have to do to stop Buffalo? Like, because then they got, you got Diggs, you got Beasley. What are you going to have to do to stop this team? It's going to be very, very tough. Pierre Martinez even says that. He says, I want Knox to really break. I do too. I mean, I'm pulling for the kid. He got a bad rap for a lot of things. Obviously the drops. People always are on him for the drops. And I think he's an underrated blocker myself. Obviously he's been covered by when Lee Smith was here, he was here. So it was mostly Lee Smith as that role of the blocking tight end. But I really think Knox is pretty good as a downfield blocker as well. Now he's serviceable. Yeah, that was great. Knox only has one drop, and there was a pass behind. Vernon says Knox only has one drop, and there was a pass behind him so far. So Rambo is a red zone threat. Yes, Matthew Harmon, he is. Rambo's a beast. I mean, but that's what you're starting to see. If we went back to the draft talk a little bit, that's what you're starting to see. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they take Trey White. I mean, the new regime bill. They take Trey White in the first round. Then they take Josh Allen in the first round. Then they take Tremaine Edmonds in the first round. Then you take Ed Oliver in the first round. You take Rousseau. You trade for Stephon Diggs in the first round. So their first round picks are the top of the class. You know what I mean? Did they have to draft an edge rusher with their first round pick? I mean, people can debate on that all they want, but they were recycling that position because they knew Addison and Hughes were coming up on contract years. So, and you're able to play those guys a little bit more because of the athleticism that they have, which, as Paul stated many times, if you give, and it's going to sound weird, if you give Hughes less snaps, he becomes more effective on the snaps that he's on the field. So at the age that he's at and the part of the career that he's at, he's able to be a more effective pass rusher and stop the run as well because he's not just grinded out to a nub. Yeah, Scott Blakely coming in. He says, if you guys haven't heard Joe's play-by-play, you're missing it. It's so good. Keep you engaged. Covers all what's happening on the field. He is phenomenal. Thank you, Scott. That is phenomenal. Speaking of calling the games, like I said, we're going to have a special treat for you on Monday, October 18th, ladies and germs. Monday, October 18th, which is the game at Tennessee at 8:15. Paul and I are going to be doing play-by-play for that game and the post game. So Paul and I are going to try to dust off our announcing, a play-by-play and color commentator microphones and try to see what's going on. And we're going to give you the game that day. So we're going to do the Monday night game for you coming up on the 18th, which is a week after the Kansas City game, which is what I want to do. I want to get up to, because we've talked a lot about Houston this week and what's going on with the Houston Texans and how they're going to play and what's going to go on. And the Buffalo Bills, I mean, you got to play the game, and everybody always talks about any given Sunday. So I'm not just looking past Houston, but I did want to preview what's coming up on the horizon for the Buffalo Bills as well. Let's see if we had any stupid talking text. Paulie D, what'd you do, man? Did you mess up? Look at how Alan came around. Maybe. Oh no. I gotta put it up. Talk to text. That's what happened. That's all right, Paulie D. We appreciate it, brother. We knew what you meant. I'll say it to people all the time when they get the text messages, but and they'll autocorrect themselves. I'm like, I knew what you meant. Don't worry about it. I'm not the grammar police. Don't worry about it. Illustrator come in. LaShawn McCoy retired. Was it today that he retired? I thought he retired yesterday. But yeah, I got my own thoughts on McCoy. I mean, he's a hell of a back. One of the best running backs in the NFL that they've seen. But the fact that he likes to flaunt the fact that he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion when he suited up, played one play, and then the game he didn't even suit up, I don't know. All right, man. I mean, do you? I guess that's how that works. Yes, Elliot. Filling the void of the Manning brothers on Monday night. Very smart. I love their show. Like, their show is absolutely hysterical, and I die laughing all the time. We may try to pull a page out of that book and, bring some of the nation on, but we're trying to work out logistics on that. But that would be really funny if we did that. Good question, Pierre. Where'd Pierre, what did he say? Let me scroll up. Pierre, what'd you say, brother? Where is it at? I mean, how far did I miss it? How far? You said, great question. Ooh, good one. I like that. All right, Pierre. Does Bass have a chance at the Pro Bowl? It's usually one of the guys. The Bills keep scoring points at the point that they are right now. I mean, they've scored 35 and 43 in their last 2 games. If they keep scoring those amount of points and he ends up hitting some clutch field goals, I don't see why he wouldn't make the Pro Bowl. I mean, but I don't know. Justin Tucker making one from 66. Dang. That's going to stand out for a couple of weeks, obviously. So we'll have to check that out. Okay, here we got another one from Shiva. I wish Star did not opt out last year. A big body in the middle makes a world difference. You know what? That's the thing. A lot of people were down on Star, and I was the one that was holding the candle for Star quite a bit. And I'm well aware of the fact that not many people were. It's not a glamorous position to be in. So you're not going to see a lot of statistics come out of Star. But what he's able to do in there to free up Edmonds, free up Milano, and the fact that he does it, a majority of the time, he does take the double teams, which then one-on-ones Addison, Rousseau, Epineza, Hughes. He's able to have those one-on-one matchups with those guys, or allow those one-on-one matchups with those guys along that front wall. And it just gives your offense and your defense, or it gives your defense, your back seven, so much more freedom to play. And I think you're starting to see the result of that. I'm not saying it's all on Star. Obviously, Oliver's up there too, just eating up bodies. A lot of people are down on Butler, and I understand that. But Star allows you to do a lot of things because he has that ability to both clog up the run as well as draw two guys in a pass rush situation to loosen up some of those other guys in one-on-one. Because you got to think about it. If you have Star and Oliver out there and you have Rousseau and Hughes, if he's taking up two guys, then you got Oliver, Rousseau, and Hughes all one-upped. And I love one-on-one matchups for all those guys. So that's going to be something that we're going to look forward to as well as going forward. So Blakely. Bass will hit one from 67. Mark it down. Mark it down. So as I was saying, the peanut punch. Watch over for turnovers. Lovey's famous for coaching that peanut punch in Chicago. Oh, yeah. Yep. True. All right, let me scroll up, see if I have anything. Ooh, John coming in with a nice one. Milano, best player on the team. Ooh, bold. Questioning it, and putting out. Milano he's earned his contract so far that he has so far. But like I said, it's only 3 games. So we're going to have to see how that manifests throughout it. The biggest thing about Milano was never ability. The biggest thing about Milano was staying healthy. So if he's able to stay healthy, then we're going to be all good with that. Just a really quick thing. Like I said, guys, it's scrolling along the bottom. You can see our website, Twitter, Instagram. All of our episodes will go to iTunes and Spotify. So make sure you go and check that out. Make sure our weekly lineup, just want to let you guys know real quick. Sunday, Joe will be calling the game. Then we'll have the post game right after that. Then on Paul will have his morning coffee on Thursday with you guys. We have our Friday night tailgate with Mike and Tommy. And then I'm going to start doing this, which is the Saturday #Hangover. So we're going to be going on with that. But I did want to preview a little bit. I did want to preview the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they're playing Houston tomorrow. And then they're going to be playing at Kansas City and at Tennessee. 2 teams that they've lost to last year. I've always been a big proponent of until you knock the king off the top of the mountain, you're not on the top of the mountain yet. All last year when the Buffalo Bills were having a lot of success, I would always still say, listen, the Patriots are the defending AFC East champions. Until you win the AFC East, we got to temper our expectations. I'm going to say the same thing now when it comes to Kansas City and Tennessee. Tennessee they're banged up pretty bad. And Kansas City looks like a wounded dog right now. But they still have the talent and the ability to drop 40 on you and 50 on you as far as Kansas City goes. Tennessee still has that. It's tough because you're playing Kansas City. It's like a gauntlet. You're playing Kansas City and Tennessee back to back, yet completely different offensive game plans coming from both of them. So this defense, Sunday, October 10th and Monday, October 18th, are going to be tested in various ways. I'm interested to see how they adjust and what Leslie Frazier has on the docket for that. Let me just scroll up. 19 straight games. We have 20 plus first downs. Wow. Is that a, I know, what was last week's was ridiculous. Let me check this out. Was the Buffalo, I got to check this one out because I heard Buffalo's first downs last week was like stupid. Buffalo Bills, let me check it. 29 first downs last week. Hey, Seuss. Wow. That's ridiculous. Yeah, my report, Mario going solo. I'm riding solo. No, I'm not going to sing that here. I'm not singing that here. What's the lineup on your hype videos? Best on the internet, man. Scott, I appreciate every single time you say that, man. It is it's so awesome that you like those. And I remember last year you were talking about with the Ravens one, or was it 2 years ago that I did the Ravens one? It was 2 years ago. And you were talking about this should be on CBS. That was the highest compliment I could ever get making those things. They do take a while. And last year and the year before, obviously, you guys know I'm a teacher, so a lot of that takes a lot of my attention. So, and to try to put those things together actually takes quite a bit of time. So I am going to try to do some more. Obviously, Kansas City will have one, Tennessee will have one. Then we have our bye. And then after the bye, Buffalo Bills have Miami, Jacksonville, New York, and Indy. I don't know if I'm going to make ones for those specifically, but the Tampa one's definitely that's going to happen. Jessica, I hope you are well as well. Thank you for hopping into the live real quick. Lori coming in. How you doing, Lori? When Josh throws 4 TDs in the first half, they will crank up the running plays, and yes, Mitch will get a TD. Oh, okay. I like it. I'm all for that. All right, let me see if we have any messages. Would you rather play? Oh, okay. Mafia Mom, would you rather play KC coming off of a win versus the Eagles or on a 3-game losing streak? Ooh. Well, first off, I think they'll beat the Eagles. I think they're going to beat the Eagles. But, I mean, I'm also a big fan of momentum. And if that's a win where Kansas City rights the ship and they're able to put together a very solid game plan and win in all 3 phases of the game, I think that would be something that you can look forward to as well. So I would like them coming in as, I'd like them on a 3-game losing streak. But then all the pressure shifts all over to Buffalo now. So if they win and then you play Buffalo, I mean it's going to be a big game no matter what. But if they lose and they're going against Buffalo, you could see some things happening. Reed will be calling some plays that are going to be totally out of pocket, like that you're not going to expect. So I don't know. I would rather have them beat the Eagles. So let me see here. Oh yeah, thank you, Scott. Appreciate that, buddy. Time and music makes them fun. Appreciate that. I try to always match it up to the music with all the hits and whatnot. So, all right. So what else we got? Mafia Mom. I hope they beat the Eagles. Yep, coming off W. Ross, what's up, Ross? If you guys don't know Ross, if you guys have never seen that, I made a couple appearances over on Dear Pets Nation. Ross is the dude over there. All right, table jumper advice for awful OC Josh McDaniels. Josh, this is karma. This is karma for Josh McDaniels. I mean, bailing on Indy, you could say that. You could say, but thank you for your donation, man. I'm just saying it's karma, straight karma. That's what you get, Josh. Okay, Logan coming in saying I want KC to be strong when we beat them. I don't want any excuses around the media why we won. You know what's going to happen though, because even after the Buffalo Bills' success that they had last year, there's still a lot of naysayers out there about Allen, this offense, what's going on in Buffalo, and all this other stuff. We know, having followed this team for as long as we have, we know that the genetic makeup that this team has, and that, you know, as if I can pull a wrestling term from not Mean Gene, Gorilla Monsoon, the intestinal fortitude of the Buffalo Bills. And it seems like they play better in a better role when they're the underdog and when people don't expect them to win. So I'm all for the naysayers completely saying that the Bills won't win anything this year. I love it. Let me see. I think Lovey's just trying to do the work. Let me see. Kansas City. Humongous talent. Well, thank you, Scott. Once again, you'll do one with Paul singing. I got to do one with Paul singing. You definitely know that's coming. That's on the horizon. I just haven't surprised Paul with it yet. Mafia Mom coming in once again. I want to see Dable put some new creative plays on film this week and force KC and Titans to prepare for it. Something you guys don't know. I mean, this is the thing about the EP system. And here's EP system. Obviously, the guy that ran it the best was Brady in New England. And what they would do late in games, a lot of times, New England would just put plays on film. So a lot of times, maybe Dable's trying to emulate that a little bit. So if the Buffalo Bills have a very sizable lead, like they did in Miami, okay? They had a very sizable lead. They had a sizable lead in Washington, or they end up getting a sizable lead in Washington. Then you start to see plays in the second half. Don't immediately rush to go, well, why did Dable call that? Why did Dable do this? Why are they calling this play? Why are they calling that play? What they are doing is exactly what Mafia Mom is saying, is the fact that they're putting stuff on film that you're going to have to delegate time in the film room too on how to beat it. Now, do they necessarily feel, the Buffalo Bills, do they necessarily feel they're going to run those plays in a game type situation where it's like tied or whatever? We don't know. Maybe they're trying them out. Maybe we're trying to see what it looks like in a live game. Maybe they're just really just trying to put stuff on film for the other team to delegate time to take away from the bread and butter that the Buffalo Bills do. So it could be one of those scenarios where that happens. And I would be very interested to see if that does manifest in and of itself, if that does go forward. And I love that point. I love that comment. That was amazing. What did Mike say? Someone's laughing at Mike. I didn't even read it yet. I'm just putting it up. Saw a tweet after we shut out the Dolphins that said the Finns play the Bills again on Halloween. Finns might well dress up as folding tables for their matchup. Oh, it's home. That's a home game versus Miami on Halloween. Oh God, I'd love to go to that game. I would, but probably not because I have 3 littles that I gotta dress up and take out for Halloween that day. So, I mean, will we be dressed up on the broadcast? Probably. I expect Joe to be dressed up too. So we're gonna see how that goes. That's an awesome one though, Mike. Look at Vernon coming in. He said, want the Colts to lose. We may be in competition with them for seeding in the playoffs. Absolutely. I mean, you start looking at it, and you know, I got into it. To be honest with you, I'll do it. I got to take a side from the chat for a second. I got into a little bit of a back and forth with a Denver Broncos fan the other day, and it wasn't pleasant. Obviously, nothing on Facebook ever is, but I was talking to them, and I literally just said, because they were talking about the matchup with the Ravens, and I said Ravens by 20, just to kind of get that little dig. And the guy was laughing at me hysterically. He goes, "You don't know anything about football. You don't know anything about." I was like, you beat the Jaguars, the Jets, and the Giants, which are combined 0-10 now. This looks a lot like last year's Pittsburgh Steelers team that went 11-0 up into a point, and they were playing teams that just weren't really good. Now, I know it's the NFL. You got to come and show up every week and play, and then, light the lamp for a lot of these things. But it's the level of competition that you've played so far. So I'm just, I just wanted the Broncos fan to temper their expectations and what's going on. But like any fan will, and we were a victim of this too in Buffalo, you're going to get overly excited when your team starts off hot like that. So until the Broncos actually put a huge whoop, and I'm a fan of the Broncos. Like Vic Fangio is my dude. So, and Paul will make fun of me because of that, but I just think that until they destroy a team that has a win, I'm not really buying in on the Broncos so far. So, oh my God, Elliot, Joe better be a vampire. He's already has the hair. We'll put that on the community tab, y'all. We're definitely going to put that on the community tab. Like, what should Paul, Mario, and Joe, and Tommy, and Mike dress up as for that week? That'd be hysterical. I don't even know what I would be in that respect. Yep, Shiva brings up the 2008 Bills. 2008 Bills. They started out hot, but then I think they started out 3-0, but they had like 15 or 16 turnovers in those first 3 games, which masked a lot of the things that they were doing wrong. So that's a great point. Pierre comes in and says, "I like the Broncos versus the Ravens this week versus the Ravens." It could be. I know some people are kind of blinded by the whole. They barely beat the Lions, but the Ravens are still a very quality team. I mean, they're just on a little bit of a roller coaster right now. I mean, how do you beat the Chiefs by 1 point coming back the way you did, and then you need a 66-yarder to beat the Lions? Like, that would have been an ultimate roller coaster for some Ravens fans as well. But I still think they're a very, very quality team. Ross, can't trust Denver until they beat a quality team. Amen, brother. Bro, let's see if I missed anything. I do want to get up to all the comments because I love when you guys do this. Well, Elliot coming in. Will Josh Allen ever throw for over 500 yards? And why will it be this weekend? I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, about the yardage, I know it was a big deal for Allen when he first started out. People were talking about 300 yards, 300 this. He doesn't throw for 300 yards yet. The year, I think the Cowboys went 8-8. I think Dak threw for like 5,100 yards that year. And the reason why is because they were losing. They had such a horrible defense that they were losing in a lot of those games, and he had to throw to come back. So you look at some of the games this year, and it being a 17-game season, there's going to be some records that are broken this year. And if Dak, I said this on a different broadcast. I said, if Dak breaks the yardage record this year, that means that the Cowboys went 7-10. Because they're not keeping anybody out of the end zone. He has to throw to come back. Oh man, comment. Let's root for the Jets over the Titans. Oh, I don't know. I don't see the Jets beating a lot of people there. Mafia Mom comes in once again. I get why Broncos fans are excited. You can't control your schedule, but if you are objectively looking at it, we don't know about. No, we don't. We don't know about them yet. Like, everyone wanted to write off Buffalo after losing to Pittsburgh, and now look at Pittsburgh's reeling. Like, you start to think back at it, you start going, how did they lose to Pittsburgh? Was it were they playing tight? Was it the fact that everybody was touting them so well and saying this, that, and the third, like that? Oh, they're good. They're great. They're going to go they're going to steamroll everybody. And, it happened last year with the Buffalo Bills. They lost to Arizona, and they didn't lose again until the AFC Championship game. So you think about that, a loss, albeit the first game of the season, it looked like it seems like it humbled the Buffalo Bills to the point now that they've scored 78 points in their last 2 games. So will I take a loss like that? I wish it was an NFC team, but I mean, we'll take what we can. Buffalo Bills are 1-0 in their division. They're 2-1 overall. They're 1-1 in their conference. So we have to keep that in mind when we go through it. Oh, Mafia news report coming in hot with the $5. I want to see. I want the Bills to make a statement against the Texans. Go to Kansas City with a lot of mojo and have Kansas City worrying about not the other way around. Yeah. I mean, is it that little brother syndrome? I mean, could it be what it is right now? Is it that little brother syndrome where you're sitting there, you're like, yo, these guys have kicked us in the teeth for a few years now. And, the Bills are up. You have to forget, the Bills are up 10-0 in the AFC Championship game. And then the wheels just fell off. It was bad to watch. It was just bad to watch. I don't know if that's the mindset. I think the Buffalo Bills will come in a lot more relaxed into Kansas City. But playing at Arrowhead with that whole stadium rocking is a different experience. So I'm very interested to see how that manifests. Yeah, Apex it. Yep, that's how they lose. Block punt for a touchdown. That's what it was against Pittsburgh in the first game. Yep. Easy spin. Just could have had a ton of 400 yards game. Yep. Tommy's in the house. Yes, he is. All right, Mafia Mom, come on. Anyone a little concerned about the special teams issues, the block punt week 1, the kickoff last week? I don't think so. I think that those are – I mean, he tends to hold the ball a little bit when he does do those punts, but I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where it's something that's a sustainable worry. You know what I mean? If it happens again, obviously I'm going to be terrified of it. But with the Buffalo Bills and how well they've been playing and how they've been moving the ball offensively, you're not really going to worry about too much about them punting. As far as the kickoff goes, I think that's something that is a rare occurrence. That was a freak occurrence. Yes, should he have caught the ball? Yeah, absolutely. He should have ran up and caught it, but he didn't. And they ended up getting the ball back. I think on a much better team, that would have been an issue, but Buffalo Bills showed throughout the rest of that game, they're like, listen, all right, we have to put this away now. We're going to put this away right now. Scott coming in. Fortnite, and thank you. Mara, thank you for bringing Joe on for play-by-play. Thank you for this great content, videos, and podcasts. Thanks, Paul, for the AM with coffee. Absolutely, Scott. Thank you for your support, man. We love the nation. We love the support you guys give us and this outlet to talk about the Buffalo Bills and give you guys our viewpoints on this. Obviously, we're not savants. We're not scouts. We're not pretending to be anything that we're not, guys. We just love talking about the Bills. We love talking about it with #Nation, and we love providing you guys with something that's entertaining. So, and we do appreciate that as well. And, you guys with the donations and stuff, you help all of our charitable donations as well. So we like to thank you for that. And the charities like to thank you for that, especially Matthew 25 Farms. So make sure that you go check them out as well. What else we got? Kick was off fluke bounce. Yep. Little Dirty learned a hard lesson. He did. I like this one. Do you think? Oh, wait, gotta go to the first one. Ed Oliver, do you think Ed Oliver's lived up to his draft expectations? I think he's getting there. I think where he was in college to where he had to be as a pro, it didn't manifest as quickly as a lot of people hoped. I mean, you looked at it from the position of, if you looked at Tremaine Edmonds coming out of college, he would have been a knockdown, drag out, Pro Bowler, All Pro every year outside linebacker. In my opinion, he would have been a great outside linebacker since day one. They move him to the middle. He's 19 years old. He's commanding a lot of older veterans that were around him. Okay, he had to get acclimated to the position. You look at Oliver. He was going from a 3-4 where he was playing right on the nose in college at Houston to having to play in a 4-3 front and having to learn different types of techniques. I understand it. Josh Allen, same way. He came from Wyoming. Obviously, we all know that. He was green coming in. To say he was a little green, okay. He was a little green. He came in. But that being said, they're all freak athletes that are progressing at their own pace. And I think having the players that you had around Oliver when he was first drafted allowed him to have that development slowly. Rousseau has been developing faster. I think that's what kind of tilts the tables toward Oliver, is the fact that, Oliver's a lot of the stuff Oliver does, like I said, with Star, is not going to show up in the stat sheet. So you're not going to see that immediately. You look at the back seven that's benefiting from this front four, whatever combination they try to put up there, that is them doing their jobs. And then what was the second one from it? Oh, yeah, Kevin Healy. That is good. He's getting there. True test when Star retires. Yeah. We saw a little bit of that I mean, I don't think Ed was truly developed. I mean, he still is an amazing player and is a freak athlete. But then when you saw Star not be there last year, you started to see some of that. I think if Star were to retire and then he goes into next year, Ed Oliver will be a completely different animal. But he plays a little bit of different game. Pierre comes in. What does he say? Okay, Mario, I've been asking in these chats this week. I don't know what your thoughts on Tampa Bay versus New England. Are we really rooting for Brady? Do you want my technical answer or do you want my personal answer? Obviously, if New England loses, it benefits Buffalo. Not in the long run because Tampa Bay is an NFC team. It'll benefit them as far as taking one step closer to claiming a division title. But a division title isn't something that the Buffalo Bills fans or the team that's their end goal, end game. My personal opinion is I hope New England beats the brakes off of Tom Brady because just think of it this way. You saw what happened for both New England fans and Tampa Bay fans and Brady fans when he won the Super Bowl last year. Everyone was touting him so much, saying this, that, and the third. Oh, it was Brady, not Belichick. You didn't see that 7-9 record that New England had last year. That was a miracle they were able to go 7-9. It was a miracle. You had your quarterback throw for 8 touchdowns and 11 picks, and you went 7-9. Like, that was ridiculous. Brady went to a team that had the third highest scoring offense, and he went there. And then they made all these additions on defense, end up giving up less than 100 less points last year than the year before when they had Winston throw 33 picks or 30 picks. So the technical term is you would want New England to lose. But personally, I would love to see New England beat the brakes off of Brady. I would love that. It'd be amazing. Brady looked like he was on his deathbed. What? Are you serious? Oh, no, that's not good at all. New England will not be making the playoffs. I'm just saying, though, just for a technical standpoint. I always love when the AFC East teams lose, especially at least Oliver. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Oliver doesn't have the Oliver. You got to realize something, too. Darius was taken third, I believe, overall. Now, Darius, when you're taken third in the third overall, you know that you're going to be obligated to be the face of that franchise. And I don't think he was ready for that yet. He may have had the captain's hat, which was hilarious, but he wasn't ready to be the face of that franchise. Oliver came into a scenario where they had already drafted their quarterback face of the franchise the year before. So him being taken ninth overall, where he wasn't asked to be the face of the franchise. They already had that in Josh Allen. So that's a little bit of pressure taken off of him as well. Brady looked like a zombie. Oh, that's not good. Belichick doesn't have his in drafting as he does coaching. I don't know about that, John. I don't know. I'd have to a little bit disagree on that. I mean, look at the quarterbacks he's drafted after Brady. A lot of them are playing still. I mean, you look at he got Matt Castle. Matt Castle goes 11-5. He gets Brissett. Brissett goes 3-1, only losing to the Bills when Brady was suspended for 4 games. And now Brissett's a starter. Jimmy Garoppolo got a huge contract. So can he pick quarterbacks? Probably. Or maybe it's just the system. We don't know. But I think he's been able to draft very well. The thing with Belichick, you got to realize that he gets volume. You got to realize he lets go of guys that Bills fans would lose their minds over. And then he gets those third-round compensatory picks. So he has a lot of shots, a lot of darts to throw at the board. So he's able to get those guys in that want to buy into his system. So what did she? Yeah, that was a little bit of. I think Ford development. We're talking about Ford now. JPS, stop it right now. Oh, someone said that a little bit. Oh, you're welcome, Ross. You talking about for the Brady one? You're welcome. I hope New England beats the brakes off of them. Somebody had a question. Who was it? I'm sorry if I missed it. They had Moss versus Singletary this week. I hope they both get 100 yards. I'm not going to lie to you. Because you got to think about it in the long run. If they both get 100 yards rushing, it proves that why both of them were drafted. They're both drafted to come into the EP system, and they're both asked to play the same role. When you have either one of those guys in the game, in my opinion, you don't have to change your offensive philosophy. You can still throw the ball to the backs. You can still throw the ball out of gun. You can still run with both of them. I think they're both very quality runners. You don't have to change up your game plan when Moss is in there versus Singletary. Now, you may have a different viewpoint that Moss is better than Singletary as a runner outside. Singletary is better at running inside the tackles. Moss is maybe a better pass pro guy. All of those things intertwined. I understand that. But that is why you got these guys. If they both get 100 yards rushing against Houston, you're able to assert that dominance on your offensive line against the defensive front. And B, who are you going to game plan for if you're an opponent coming up? Like, you can't tilt the scales one way or the other if you're a defensive player and then Moss is in the game versus Singletary. Like, if you're New England, let's just say, and you got Damian Harris in the game versus the recently injured James White. If White's in the game, 90% of the time he's going out for a pass, he's probably going to catch it. But if Damian Harris is in there, that's the hammer. So although Damian Harris can catch the ball, he's not known for that. So there's a difference, a very clear difference between those two backs versus Singletary and Moss. I like the two-back hot hand running back room. I love it. I love it too. Moss looked great since his fumble. He has. Yeah. I think Belichick likes to take more bites of the apple. Yep. He hasn't hit huge. I don't know. It really hasn't hit that huge lately. I'm always worried about Belichick letting go of guys. I never want to pick a guy up that Belichick is willing to let go because he already knows all that stuff. Bill Buffalo Mafia News. Antonio Williams. He's actually on the injury report. He's questionable. With a neck injury. He's questionable this week. So that's going to be him. Got to get a true CB2 off of this in this offseason. I mean, I like what Wallace brings to the table. That's another discussion for another day, though. We could talk about that another day. But what I want to do, guys, I am out of my time for the hashtag hangover. I know I'm being so loud for the hashtag hangover, aren't I? But I just want to let you guys know the sponsor of our show, two sponsors of our show, Mr. Rogers Homes, is in the description of this video, as well as cbdx.com. Use promo code HTS for 20% off. Go check out cbdx.com. You can find all of our material on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as iTunes and Spotify. I am Mario. This is Hashtag Sports. You've been here for the hashtag hangover. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Make sure you tune in with Joe calling the play-by-play, and then Paul and I will be there for the postgame to answer all your questions. You guys are the absolute best hashtag nation of Bills Mafia. Thank you so much for your time today. I got to go pick up my kids, so I'll check you guys later. Take it easy.